What's up, guys? Right, day 2 on this job. So we've got a few little things to do now. So Jack's getting on with the gas bonding because that wasn't done. So this is the job, if you don't know which one it is. This is the one where we've done the garden room project, which I shall take you around, and I'll put a link above my head in one of the corners. So that is basically the job that we've been doing. Well, I won't go down all there because I'll get dirty boots, but I'll try and turn it around so you can get the gist of it. So that garden room there, that is what, close up. That's basically the job. So we are back today. We might get it all done. So we've got to change the board. Jack's doing the bonding, full test on the house, and then sign off the rest of the garden room. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't already subscribed, the link is in one of these corners. If you smash that, turn your notifications on. We put videos up once a week-ish, something like that. So yeah, right, let's get stuck into the video. So the board is literally just the other side of here. So we've already put our armoured in down here. So the armoured's gone round here, straight in. Used the old silicone and brick dust just to sort of hide that away a little bit. So I don't like looking at all the green and yellow 10mm earth. I think it looks horrendous. So we're doing it in conduit. So basically the gist of it is gas meters the other side of the door. Now what makes this a bit more complex is that it just at the doorway there's like a little step down and it cuts back in. So it's too tight to get a bend with the 20mm conduit. So what we're having to do is we're using a little bit of Flexicon just to take, because the bends it's just too tight. So that's what Jack's doing, stepping backwards in and out on there, and then back into the gas meter, and then he'll bond that up. So inside for me is I've got this bad boy to change. So this is the original, as far as I'm aware, from, I think it was put in, I don't know, sometimes in the 1900s. I think that's what it was. So it's got dual RCDs and stuff like that, but it's just of an old date. And obviously I need to put a new supplies in for the garden room. It needs replacing. Hasn't been tested for as long as the clients know. So we're going to put, obviously no SPD, you know, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to put a new full RCBO board in here with SPD built into it. Then we're going to terminate our garden room supply directly into it and get that all sorted. Upgrade the meter tails because there's 16mm on here, so we'll upgrade those to 25mm. Yeah, so should be a good one. So hopefully, like I say, we'll take that cover off in a moment, and like I say, let's see what we're left with. Right, took the board cover off because now's the time really. I just need to jump in and get stuck into it. So the plan is that bad boy is going to be in there. So that's what we're going with on there. So like I say, we'll change the meter tails. We generally always try to use a tails gland because I just think it's better. It's a better job really on there. Now on first sort of inspection, it looks quite nice and neat and tidy. It's going to be a bit awkward on the old lighting, but it looks quite neat and tidy, to be fair, in there. So hopefully, if the rest of that is any indication, then yeah, it should be all good. So what I'm going to do is label it all up. So what I use with that is just a Sharpie, and I just label on the board. So on the board cover here, so we've got upper lights, lower lights, cooker, kitchen sockets, house sockets, water heater, and then shower was that one. So what I'm going to do is I normally label them up like 1, 2, 3, 4 and do it on the cover, and then obviously just do the corresponding cables and stuff on there. So what I'm going to do in this one, I'm going to strip it completely out, then test it all. Yes, quite often I'll test before doing any of that, but it's because of the type of board it is, it's going to be awkward getting to all the earths and stuff, and some of them are all like sleeved together and stuff like that, so it's not really going to work for me. So that's the plan anyway. So I'm going to strip that out. I'll get you on time lapse while I'm doing that. And then yeah, so then we'll mark it all up and jump back in with a bit of testing, I would say. Yo, today's video is sponsored by Tradeify. Tradeify is a job management software that you can use on your phone, your iPad, your tablet, your Android device if you have got an Android, and also your PC. Yeah, it's an absolutely brilliant bit of kit. It gained me so many more hours back of the evening doing all my estimates and things like that, because once you've set it up, it's like a board change, for example. I've already got a kit built. Bang, stick on there, done. Send the invoice out in seconds. Even to the point where you can set up a parts listing, send that to the lads. They know exactly what parts they need to go. They can then go to the wholesaler. Yeah, I've ordered this. This is what I need. Here's my parts listing number, job reference number. So you can tally everything up. It's absolutely wicked. I've been using it now for well over a year, and I did it exactly this way. I used the 14-day free trial, which I'll put in the link in the description below. If you love it as much as like I did, use the promo code GHawk50. You'll get 50% off for the first 3 months. But yeah, genuinely, it is an awesome bit of kit, and like I say, go and check them out. Right, so we're way further on now. I was going to put it on time lapse, but in fairness, all you just see is the back of my head, and nobody wants to see that. What's the point? So what I've done, we've got the board mounted. Okay, so we've used. So this was actually given to me by Kian's dad, who's actually another electrician, and I think it's actually like metal edging that they use in the factories, and I've started using this. And because you can just rag the cables through, it doesn't come off. It's brilliant stuff. So as a shout out to Kian's old boy. So yeah, so I've got it all mounted up now. I've actually got Steve and Neil here as well, so they're running in another cable for me. So yeah, so what I've done now, I've gone through all my certification, so I know where everything's going to go. So I'm going to dress all these in, and then I'm going to test it all. I think that's going to be the best way. And then what I'm going to do down here, I'm going to get this armoured up, and then I think that's going to be the best way. I was going to put the water bond through this one, which I've already knocked out, but I'm not entirely sure whether I'm going to do it, because I'm going to have to, because the way that the D&O or the meter company have put the it's just so close that I can't get the main bond. Like, I can't adjust it, and obviously I wanted to just put that all in one go. So what I might have to do is put a cheers Neil. What I might have to do is put a, well, I'm going to have to do put another MET in. So I don't know. So if I'm putting an MET in, I might as well put the water bond straight into it. So yes, so that's what I thought. I'd give you a bit of an update where we are. So yeah, so like I say, I'll dress all these in now, and then I'll get back to you on testing, I think. Go on, carry on singing, Steve. Right, so we've been very busy, and I've not really done that much filming, because you just see a lot of the back of my head, and it's a bit boring. So I've got the board up to this standard now. We're just finishing off the testing, so we'll go. Jack's just doing some testing on the other board in the garden room, which is out there. So Stevie's been working away. Don't know about Neil. What's he been doing? What's he been doing? Loitering. So we've put our fire sealant in the back there. We've also sealed up the top where obviously your fire can transfer. Now that looks mental. Mine's level, that's not. That's why it looks weird and it's annoying, but it is what it is. So I've done the main earthing terminal down here, so I've brought all the earth bars through. So that one there is the supply for the garden room. Like I said, I have put the fire grommet in there because I was going to run it up in a bit of conduit for the water bond that Jack did, but I've decided no, I've got an MET in there and I'll just carry on with that. So I've just got the last few testing bits to do now, so I'm going to get this board cover on, and then I'm going to show you how we'll go about labelling it all up. Okay, so we're on to like the labelling side of things. So we've got all the board mounted and labelled up now. So for that, obviously, the more detail you can put on here, the better for the homeowner and potentially the next guy coming in. So to do those, I use this. So this is the P-Touch E300, apparently. So, I know, very technical that one, Steve. You like that? Yeah, you liked a bit of detail. Bit of detail, didn't he, Steve? That was a bit of detail. So, to do the patch panels, basically, which is what that's called. So, for that bit there, running along, that's your patch panel. So, what you'll do, they're very noisy, aren't they? So, you press onto this one. So, then that gives you, obviously, your patch panel. So, then your block length, okay? So, what that is how wide your MCBs are, or RCBOs. So these are 18mm, so that's what we'll set that at. So you set that up as 18mm. So just move that down, and then obviously number of blocks. Okay, so that's how many. That's how many, obviously, RCBOs or whatever you got fitted. Okay. So once you've done that, you can obviously alter that to suit whatever you need on there. And then your separator is basically whether you want it framed. So that's just your straight line in between. And obviously if you want it framed like that one is up there, is obviously just cycle through. And then reverse, that's the one thing that I used to forget all the time. So you need to turn it off onto reverse. And what that means is when you're starting, so if you don't have that on, it will print out the wrong way, which sounds a bit mental, but you won't do like one, as I would do it, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. But what it does on the printer, if you don't do it that way, it's actually the opposite way. So to achieve your main switch like that, what you have to do is, you see on there you've got multipliers, you need to change that to on. Okay, and then you go down, so block 1, so block 1 for this one is actually the SPD, so that's okay, so that's 1 point. So block 2 is actually the main switch, so then you just double it up. So obviously you need to move that to that one, and then all the rest just continue on as just standard 1 point. So obviously I've only done 4 blocks on here. Okay, so the thing is with these, you need to make sure that you've got the right tape in. So obviously at the minute I've just got the 12mm tape in, which is not big enough to do the labels in that style. So to do them in that style, that's an 18mm tape on there. So then you literally just type in, I'll clear that, so you just type in, so that would be SPD, move it across. So this now is your double one, so that would be main switch. And then your third one, obviously just whatever it is cooker, for example. Okay, and then this is going to be, it probably won't print because it will probably say it's too high. Okay, so we'll try it. So we'll press print. Oh, it is going. So you have to cut the tape off. And obviously files that out, and that's basically the gist of it. So obviously you've got your SPD, your main switch, because that's that double one, then cooker and so on. So that's how you use that for all your labels. I just personally think it's so much better having it that way, and also you know that if somebody else has come in after you and have altered it, then they've either had to cut it or write over. So it's another way of making sure that you're the last person to mess about with that. And then, so like I say, if you haven't got one, I bought this one on an offer. You see, it was on an offer from, what's it called, from Toolstation, I think it was. And I think at the time it was about 50, 60 quid, and it was like half price. And now if that broke, I'd literally go and buy another one tomorrow. In fact, I'd probably buy the next one up, which is a lot more money. But yeah, so they are brilliant. So like I say, in a nutshell, that's all sorted now. I'll go and show you the other end to make sure that's all sorted. Right, so we're back outside now in the old nature reserve. which is really cool. The customer sent me a video straight after I left, and all the birds when they came, when we'd all buggered off. God, it was mental, the amount that was going on there. So in the previous video, like I say, I've already put a link up above it right at the start for this room. So we did this in part 1 of the video as such. So we've got just a quick brief overview. We just ran it all in conduit. We got the sockets led in here, all run round, and then we've got obviously our lighting circuit now. But we've brought the board in and mounted it underneath here, and then Jack's just been down and labelled her all up, and she's all ready to go. So obviously we've got main switch down this end. It's not RCD. Yes, we could have done that as an RCD, but I wanted to. I've decided myself that, because obviously you need selectability on your RCD. So if I had an RCD in here as a main switch and an RCD down the other end, which I don't need because it's armoured continuous run, if I did, then what would happen is, as I'm doing an RCD test or a fault had occurred, it will trip out in potentially here and down the other end. That's something that you don't need to happen. So what I've decided to do is protect the entire installation, rather than, yes, you can use a time delayed RCD, but there's just no point, and obviously there's so much money. So what I thought I'd do is protect the entire installation on it throughout its entirety, and do it that way. Put RCBO, as you saw, down at the other end, and then with doing that, then obviously that's allowed me now to obviously do it this way. So the customer later on and down the line is probably going to want a few more of the bits and bobs doing, obviously with the garden. They've got like a little hide for obviously he's a keen photographer and stuff, so he's got a little hide for all the birds and stuff that come into the garden. So yeah, so that's why that is not an RCD. But yeah, it's turned out to be a lovely job, to be fair. Really enjoyed doing this one. I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and if you have, like you say, make sure that you've subscribed, give us a thumbs up, and yeah, so we shall catch you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, guys. You take care of yourselves. See you soon.